What in God's green earth is Sips, and why is that girl who does the Starbucks barista skits on the internet, why does she keep yelling at me about it? Great question. I'm gonna yell at you all the answers, because at this point I think that's what you expect from me. If we are just meeting, my name is Stefania, and I was a barista for over 5 years. 3 of those years were spent as a Starbucks barista. And while I was a Starbucks barista, every week our weekly order would come in, and that was where we'd get all our beans and our syrups and our this and our that. I was typically in charge of putting those weekly orders away. So I would see what we had coming in, new specialty sauces and syrups. I got to a point where I started becoming conscious, and I started looking at the ingredients list and the nutrition labels and everything that was coming into our store that we would soon be serving to customers and also ingesting ourselves. My sophomore year of college, I started off the year with a horrible stomach ulcer. So around that time, 1920, that was when I really started to pay attention to the nutrition labels and the ingredients lists of all the products that I was purchasing from the grocery store, that I was purchasing out, fast food restaurants, coffee shops. It's something that I just became aware of. By doing so, I quickly realized that there are a lot of ingredients and a lot of things that are in our everyday products that we purchase from the stores do not contain the best ingredients. My rule of thumb is if I flip over a product and look at the nutrition label or the ingredients list, and there are ingredients that I can't pronounce, it's going back on the shelf permanently. There's a lot of things in our everyday products that realistically we should not be ingesting. A lot of these ingredients that some of these major corporations and major companies include in their products, some of them are directly linked to carcinogens. Others are just not good for you, and you should not be ingesting them. Bestie, if you're wondering why you're always bloated and you're not feeling too good, you're not feeling too snatched, you can drink all the water you want, you can do all the Pilates, all the workouts you want. It's not gonna matter if you're not being conscious of what you're putting into your body. The fact of the matter is, if you're getting your everyday coffee from somewhere like Starbucks, somewhere like Dunkin' Donuts, unfortunately, syrups and the sauces and the coffee products that they use, that they are serving you, that you are paying an outrageous amount for, but that's a different story for a different day. What they are putting inside of your daily coffee is filled with a bunch of dyes, additives, preservatives, oils, ingredients that should not be in your cup of coffee in the morning. Because can somebody tell me why Red 40 is a staple ingredient in a lot of our coffee product? Like, what is that? Can somebody just tell me what that is? What it comes down to most of the time is profits over people. A major corporation that can make their product shelf stable for up to 6 months, up to a year, they're not getting rid of product. They're not wasting product. And when they're wasting product, they're essentially lighting money on fire. So to ensure that their product can stay on the grocery store shelf for as long as it takes to sell so that they can make their money, they're gonna put a bunch of crap in it to make sure that it can stay on the shelf until you purchase it. That way, they're not wasting product, they're not wasting money. All of this, everything that I just said to you, is the primary reason why I started Sips. Sips is my coffee brand. We are focused on health-conscious coffee syrups with simple, limited organic ingredients, as well as different sort of roasts, cold brews that are intentionally roasted. I've been working on this for the past year now. It originally started when I began at the beginning of 2024 making my coffee syrups at home. I just really didn't believe in purchasing coffee syrups off of Amazon or at the grocery store anymore because of the ingredients that were in them. I just don't want to be consuming that. I started making my own coffee syrups at home, only using organic, simple, limited ingredients. Your morning coffee should not be giving very much stomach ache. It should be lifting you up, not weighing you down. Sips is barista approved, okay? I would never feed you anything that I didn't use frequently myself. There is a reason why half of these coffee syrups that I'm showing you have been used or are halfway gone. I use this every morning. These are products that I will roast, I brew, I use. Because you gotta question business owners that don't use their own products. Why? We offer, right now, 3 different types of coffee syrups. We have our apple cinnamon crisp, our seasonal flavor for fall. We have our Madagascar vanilla bean and our warm brown sugar. We also have 2 brews right now. We have our Gold Coast medium roast with tasting notes of caramel, hazelnut, and fig. It's a perfect medium roast, perfect for everyday sipping. And then we also have our Maplewood cold brew with tasting notes of dark maple, brown butter, and blackberry. Yeah. So I've talked quite a bit about the coffee syrups. I want to focus on the coffee roast for just a second because I can't tell you guys how many conversations I had with different coffee roasters until I closed in on the one that Sips is working with. I probably had like over 10 conversations with coffee roasters, and I asked them a lot of really important questions like, where do you source your beans from? What are the farms like that you source your beans from? And a lot of the questions that should have been readily available and easy to answer, they were unable to answer, which I don't like. I don't feel comfortable slapping my label on a bag of beans where the workers who are farming them, picking them, doing their thing with them in Colombia, Mexico, Guatemala, wherever it's coming from, are not being paid a livable wage and they're not working in sustainable conditions. A lot of those questions that I had for coffee roasters, they were unable to answer. And I was like, ooh, thank you, next. We're done here. Eventually, I landed on the coffee roaster that I'm using today. This coffee roaster, this partner has been incredible. They have been amazing to work with. They are so knowledgeable. They are certified. They know where the beans are coming from. They have the entire backstory. They work with farms which I thought this was really cool. They work with farms where the women have less of a radius to walk and carry and transport things than the men do. They're just very conscious about the conditions that they have their people working in, and I adore that. As a fellow woman, I adore that. I was also extremely intentional about the exact roasts that I picked out because I wanted to make sure that these roasts paired very well with the coffee syrups themselves. I love our Maplewood cold brew with our warm brown sugar syrup. I love our Gold Coast medium roast with our vanilla bean syrup. This is really light and aromatic, and I feel like this pairs really well with the tasting notes of our Gold Coast medium roast. And then our warm brown sugar is very cozy. There's like a depth of flavor, almost toffee-like. And that pairs really well with the maple and the brown butter notes that are in our Maplewood cold brew. So all of this has been picked very intentionally. And as I mentioned before, Sips is made with limited organic ingredients. We're using fresh fruits, we're using organic cane sugar, we're using brown sugar. All of our ingredients are sourced from local vendors, local farms. We're very, very hands-on with quality assurance. Organic cane sugar in particular is something that I've learned quite a bit about through my process with Sips. And organic cane sugar is different from pure cane sugar or white sugar because it's processed for a less amount of time. So because it's processed for less time, it retains more molasses. In addition to it retaining its molasses, it also maintains traces of iron, potassium, calcium. You could taste the difference. You could taste the fact that we're using organic cane sugar and fresh ingredients. Additionally, I always tell people this too. Sweetheart, that's cute. You think this is gonna last in your home for 6 months? It's so damn good, it'll be gone after a couple of weeks. I mean, believe it or not, there is enough in this bottle to last you exactly 30 days. There are 30 servings of 1 teaspoon in here. All you really need is a teaspoon in your coffee. A little goes a long way. Let's do the math real quick. Let's do some girl math. Okay? If you are going to Starbucks or you're going to another coffee chain and every day you're spending $5, $6 on a cup of coffee, let's just call it 5. I mean, it's 2024, it's more than that, but whatever. $5 times 30 is $150. 1 bottle of Sips syrups is $11, $10.99 to be exact. But why would you spend $150, $5 every single day on a cup of coffee when you can make a better cup of coffee at home using Sips syrups and it's only costing you pennies every day to make it? Riddle me that. I'll wait. Yeah, That's the Sips difference, baby. I can't tell you how many variations of recipes that I went through to find the perfect combination of flavors. So many. But I was determined to find the best recipe for each of these syrups and all the syrups that we have coming up very soon. Okay, holiday launch, we see you, she's looming. But I wasn't comfortable releasing this to the public until I knew that these syrups were perfect. In coffees, in teas, yes, of course, but also in matchas and cocktails and mocktails and in desserts and in baking. There are people that have been putting our apple cinnamon crisp syrup over pancakes. Genius. Sips syrups are not just for coffee. They're for an array of different things. It's really whatever your heart desires and what you want to put it over. I wanted to just do this quick overview of Sips for all the people that have been asking me questions about why is it different? What is this product? How much is it? What are you putting into it? I think the best word that I can use to describe Sips so far is transparency. It's honesty. I am not somebody that values profits over people. I was a barista. I value people over profits all day, every day. All right, and that's Sips. Thank you for watching. I hope you take your first sip of sips very soon. Also, join our email list because I do deliver. I deliver, okay? Really tasty recipes, weekly recipes straight to your inbox to give you some drink inspiration, to give you some different inspiration of what you can use sip syrups for, and I would love for you to be a part of it. And also the email list, they do get early access to new drops, and we do have a really, really, really cute, fun, gorgeous drop coming up. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, stay in the loop of our email list, and enjoy your first sip of sips. Okay, cheers!